is a surprise. Greetings.
We found a key, did we not?
Mayhap 'twill open the way. Let us see if it fits.
Is there nothing we can do about this obstacle? If a ranged attack is needed, you can count upon my aim. Might I be of assistance?
I'd quite like it here.
Would that such peace? It seems we must part ways for the time being.
You're far from your station, are you not?
I was bored out my skull guarding the palace. At least here I can listen to sporty music. Makes the hours go by that much quicker.
You ought not have that post.
Ah, don't be like that. You know what I do. We're more likely to find a mouse or
My patience wears thin. Caution, cowardice, or a hair's breadth apart.
water. I'll make a living if I get myself into it.
Back in. Like this.
I've got to focus. The shift's only just begun.
I swear
Couple come here.
Oi! You can't come in here. Oh, no, you don't. You're not allowed in.
I swear I've not blinked once.
The sooner my duties are concluded, the better.
So, 'twas not to be. 'Tis no surprise. The magistrate...
My knees have been acting up of late.
Well, have you found some place I might sate my scholarly curiosities? Oh, to think such a place existed. Guide me outside, then. If you can deliver me from this pit, I ought to be able to find the rest of the way on my own.
Thankless job, this.
Each day, like getting cut open.
Wish I had someone to talk to.
Aye, this should be far enough. My thanks. If you truly are arisen, then I swear to someday repay this debt I owe. Words may be wind, but there's naught else I can offer you at present. Pray visit me if you've the time or inclination. Mayhap the knowledge I've gained reading tomes of Eld could be of some use to you.
Perfect spot for a kid.
My legs are stiff as boards after training.
this might be worth a read.
Shall we take a closer look?
Oh, sir, if you please. Pray excuse my boldness, sir. I am but a humble maid in service to a noble household. Might I beg a moment of your time? My master is in need of aid, you see, and I'm hoping you'll consider offering your assistance. Oh, thank you, sir. You cannot imagine my relief. Might we continue this conversation somewhere more discreet? The matter it concerns is rather sensitive, and I would not risk being overheard. You will find my master's manor in the noble quarter. Pray, meet me there at your earliest convenience. Mayhap I ought to ask around town. Hail, friend. Have you a spare moment? I've an eye for people, and my instincts tell me you're of trustworthy ilk. I'm in a bit of a quandary, you see. I'm to be gone for a week, with no one slated to mind the house in my stead. Fear not, I only ask your name to list as a tenant. You needn't bother yourself with the cleaning, and I don't expect you to stay cooped up in there neither. I'd be much obliged if you'd simply consider my home a waypoint on your travels. Sound appealing? Then come on by and have a look-see. I've taken the liberty of marking the location on your map.
I'm glad of any business in these troubled times. Welcome to the Star Drop. We serve all manner of fine ales here. Shall I...
There is much we ought to tend to, if we are to strengthen your Majesty's claim as a true arisen. It seems Magistrate Wardor has been safely delivered from his cell. The man's dedication to justice shall doubtless be a great boon to our cause. Mayhap it would be prudent to visit the man on occasion and avail yourself of his vast stores of wisdom. He might have knowledge that could benefit you on your travels. Now, would you be so kind as to return the key I lent you? I thank you. Pray, take this. Consider it remuneration for your Majesty's efforts. There is much we ought to tend to, if we are to strengthen your Majesty's claim as a true arisen. Tidings of your good deeds have reached my ears, your Majesty. 'Twas you who rid Trevo Mine of its goblin infestation, is that not so? I have instructed the soldiers who were present to spread word of your involvement. They were only too happy to oblige. The troubles of two locales yet remain. I beg your Majesty to resolve them with all due haste. There is much we ought to tend to, if we are to strengthen your Majesty's claim as a true arisen. So the acting chief of Melve was blamed. I suspect this is some ploy of the Queen Regent and her ilk to lay claim to the village territory. However, I've heard no report of her capture as of yet. It may well be that she is safe. Perchance, she has fled somewhere outside of Deesa's reach. Is there aught else you would speak of, your Majesty? So the acting chief... However, I've heard no report. It may well be that she is... Is there aught else you would speak of, your Majesty? Do not forget that we work to serve the citizens.
I overheard some of the soldiers standing guard outside the palace discussing a curious rumor.
Regarding the Queen Regent and an important personage, you mean?
You've come. Glad to see you, friend. So, what say you? Would you care to live here in my absence? As I've said, you needn't worry about tending to the place. Many thanks, friend. I knew I could count on you. I'll stop by again in a week's time, but till then, farewell.
We will find much better rest in an abode than out in the elements, methinks. Let us make good use of it while we can.
Right you are. A good sleep will ensure we are prepared for the morrow. Though our foes were familiar, our tactics were most novel. It was an edifying journey all in all.
I feel refreshed and ready for a new day.
Come. We've much to be getting on with. Mayhap this ladder is here for a reason.
Ah, excellent find.
Welcome to Pure, and quality is what you need if you want to survive. So if we... You check the price, just remember, aught catch your eye? Just say the word. Many thanks. I appreciate the business.
A treasure chest. Shall we see if we can't make our way over to it?
I know precisely when a curative is needed, Master. You'll never fall in battle so long as I'm around.
I have a knack for gathering items and am ever on the hunt for new finds. I'll gladly try out any useful mechanisms I espy.
You can count on me to fly to your aid in your hour of need, Master. Knowing when to use curatives is my specialty.
You are wise indeed to have sought my aid.
A grand adventure awaits us. I just know it.
Tis a pleasure to meet you.
You can count on me to fly to your aid in your hour of need, Master. Knowing when to use curatives is my speciality.
Oft does the bow prevail where the blade cannot. Pray, allow me the chance to demonstrate my skills as an archer.
If 'tis discipline your company lacks, I can provide.
They say thieves strike swift as the wind, and sudden as a thunderbolt. I shall endeavor not to disappoint.
At least I go knowing I fought to the best of my ability.
Shall we discuss tactics now or later? I happen to understand Elvish, Master. I expect you'll find my talents useful, should we encounter another speaker.
'Twas a pleasure to swing my weapon for your cause. I am at your disposal, should you have need of my might.
If we share our strengths, we can begin formulating a strategy that caters to our respective skills. There is a rumor whispered among pawns that I have oft pondered. The gist of it is, when pawns travel beyond the rift, we can contract a peculiar...
Go on, have a look. Many thanks.
Gather round! Treat your ears to a tale by a master storyteller. And should my tale entertain you? Nay, even if it shouldn't, I would greatly appreciate a coin or two to soothe my throat with a mug of ale. Now, listen close, as today I shall speak of riddles and monsters with frightful mystique. In the north of Vermund is our curious tale staged, where ventured a hero off the page. He delved into a temple of baleful feature, only to be confronted by a four-legged creature. But when our hero drew his blade, unto him a demand was made. And who the asker? Why, the beast! An uncanny affair, to say the least. Yet there was no time for shock and dismay, as, "Answer my riddle," did the fearsome thing say. The trickery was clear. To respond meant certain doom, for in the midst of his answer, he'd doubtless be consumed. So a mighty attack did our hero dispense, to conquer his foe and banish it thence. With a single strike was the towering beast repelled, to quail in fear at the mortal strength it beheld. Such is the legacy of Lord Rosamond, who, needless to say, was the father of House Berkeley, which lives on to this day. Gather round, gather round. Treat your ears to a tale by a master storyteller. And should my tale entertain you? Nay, even if it shouldn't, I would greatly appreciate a coin or two to soothe my throat with a mug of ale. Aye, got some coin to spare your humble storyteller? Much appreciated. Gather round, gather round.
That looks promising. Any ideas as to how we might reach it?
And should my tale entertain you? Nay, even if it shouldn't, I would greatly appreciate a coin or two to soothe my throat with a mug of ale. Now, listen close, as today I shall speak of riddles and monsters with frightful mystique. In the north of Vermund is our curious tale staged, where ventured a hero off left off the page. He delved into a temple of baleful creature.
There's a ladder here.
Ah, excellent find.
I shall do as you say.
The trickery was clear.
You!
What was I to do today?
We shall remain here.
Feels eerie with no one about.
I must earn people's faith.
Suppose I best earn my keep. Now.
All my days are so tranquil.
Captain will have my head if I skip another patrol.
Who's the train? Arms procure.
This show's far from over.
I only pray my watch finishes without incident.
We've naught to discuss.
all my days were so tranquil. Would that all my days were so tranquil.
You seem to be rather friendly with Captain Brancer. Tell me, is he faring well? 'Tis lamentable that the captain of the late Consul's Guard should have been relegated to the garrison, but there are whispers that he was given this station. Ever since Theseus' faction, if I were you, I'd take...
I'd sooner stay out of battle, were it possible. Dull days for us are a sign that all is wet time or I'm too old to hear. All honest
Couldn't hurt to put my feet up a moment.
I should very much like to rejoin you, Master.
I regret to inform you that there is no masquerade scheduled for today.
Good tidings.
Still a while to go before my shift's over.
Would that such peace?
This is most convenient. Another destination we were bound for is not far from here.
Efficiency is not the only factor worthy of consideration.
Oh, you came, sir. I must confess, I feared you would not. But I forget myself. You must be wondering why I asked you here. I should like to speak with an acquaintance of yours, a child with whom I espied you conversing. She is the spitting image of my young master, you see. 'Tis my hope that she might take his place for a time, thereby granting him a reprieve from his sorry situation.
Diana, would you paint my mother a criminal? Perhaps I ought to be the one to explain.
Young master, I meant no offense.
Diana has the right of it, though the situation is not nearly so dire as she makes it sound. I seek only the freedom to leave my own home. My mother is bedridden, you see, and her mind is not so sharp as it once was. Whenever I am absent, she grows terribly distressed. By leaving a look-alike in the house, I hope to ensure her peace of mind while I attend to matters of my own. Would you be willing to lend your assistance? Splendid. Thank you so very much.
'Twas in the slums that I witnessed you speaking with the girl. Would you be so kind as to bring her here?
You!
By your command, Arisen.
Why would someone do such a thing?
I'm in fine feather today.
Mayhap this ladder is here for a reason.
We ought to put it to good use.
I'll not take that from you.
You!
Fire upon you!
You!
This looks like trouble. This looks like trouble.
Then I shall remain by your side.
When does my washing
Time was, you scarce saw any beastrons here in Vernworth. You'd think that'd be on account of immigration, but not so. See, a child born of both races always favours the beastron. At least I've ne'er beheld a human with a beastron parent. Oh, I suppose it might be possible, but if we keep mixing, someday our kingdom will end up with more beastrons than they've got all in Batal.
If you're after produce, off to market with you.
puddles. How does we...
A few hours to help order my thoughts.
Not a care in the world.
My greens are second to none.
Here to ask aught of me, I...
Hoy, Arisen! I was hoping you'd come by, so I could thank you again for all your help. You really made a difference around here. Hmm? You wanted to ask me a favor this time? All right. How can I help? So, this noble boy wants me to pretend to be him? I'm not sure that'd work. I mean, I don't know the first thing about being a noble. Besides, are you sure we can trust these people? It all sounds a bit fishy to me. All right, I'll do it. But if I'm not very good at it, it's not my fault, okay?
Oh, my joints have been aching something fierce of late.
Must hold out till someone comes to me.
I shall do as you say.
There's a ladder here.
Ah, excellent find.
At least I have my life. That's something.
Just yonder looks to be a good spot for harvesting ingredients.
No harm in picking a few.
Look, young master. She's here.
Indeed. I could be staring into a mirror. Diana, will you dress her and instruct her in her role?
As you wish, young master. This way, if you please, miss.
What a kindness you've done me. Now I can go and fetch a gift for Mother. I'm hoping a little cheer will aid her in her recovery. And a flower from Melve seems just the thing. And she was born there, you see. No doubt her days would be brighter with a memento of her old home by her bedside.
All is ready, young master. You need only finish your preparations for the journey.
Sir Ludolf's lust knows no bounds. This time he's set his sights on the Watchhead's missus. Still, however pressed, no man is like to hand her his own wife, eh? The Watchhead refused, and rightly so. But his lordship doesn't take no for an answer. He employed his usual method, which is to say, he dispatched the Watchhead on a mission to slay a Dullahan. Poor old Gregor departed last night. I'm sorry to say it, but he shan't be returning alive. That's the sort of man that noble is, you see. Naught noble about him, if you ask me.
You know, the roads around Melve are supposed to be really dangerous. I heard the safest way to get there is to carry something that reeks of Cyclops with you, because it'll scare all the monsters away.
The lands around Melve are rife with poisonous flora. I'd hoped to pack an antidote for the young master, but the shops had none to spare. 'Tis not only poison the plants inflict, but drowsiness besides. Might there not be a curative that accounts for both? The lands around Melve, 'tis not only poison.
One can never have too many materials. I'll harvest some now.
It seems Master Sebastian is lacking a few supplies. Shall we gather what springs to mind? It is generally used as a material.
I'm sure we'll find a purpose for it in due time.
Well met. You will soon forget the fatigue of a long journey when treated.
Commerce is the domain of clever minds.
You know where to find me.
This inspires naught but misgivings.
Look as long as you please.
By your command, Arisen.
What shall I do today? Now, where was I bound here?
Dirt, sweat, and toil are each day more the same.
Yes, sir.
you procured what I asked? Splendid. You've my gratitude. Unfortunately, I can give you little more than that. Forgive me, but I must return to my rounds directly. Ah, but in place of a reward, mayhap I could give you a tour of the premises. Only if you've the time and inclination, of course. What say you? Would you care to accompany me? As servants of the gracious hand, we provide whatever treatment we can to those unfortunate who are stricken by maladies. Yet, at times, 'tis not enough. Perhaps you will recall the parents who were here when you first arrived. An unfortunate pair. They've suffered no few hardships in the slums, and now even their poor son Lubomir has fallen ill. By chance, he was examined by a roaming man claiming to be a doctor. Yet, the family had not the money for the medicine he required. So, he was put into our care. Here he is. This young man is Lubomir. We've been administering the medicine recommended by the doctor who examined him, but he has yet to show any sign of recovery. To be perfectly honest, I doubt the soundness of that so-called doctor's judgment. After all, there is no shortage of ne'er-do-wells out there, willing to claim their medicine the only cure, that they might inflate its price. But I suppose I ought not say such things so openly. At any rate, I'd best continue on my rounds. Pray, stay as long as you wish. Come, come. We've medicine to prepare. We've enough to make a fresh batch now, thanks to a kind donation.
Psst! You there. Help me. Listen, the sisters here are good to us, but I'm growing weaker day by day. It started with a slight fever, and now I can scarce lift myself up. See that empty bed? An old man was lying in it till just a few days past. He told me he was feeling better, that he'd be well enough to leave anon. And now he's... Mayhap I'm just imagining things. I hope that's the case. And yet... Gah... Something isn't right about this place. Pray, should you hear any queer rumors about the Gracious Hand, come tell me of them, won't you? I'd see to it myself, but I can hardly move.
Have you a different destination in mind, Master? Very well. I shall follow your lead instead.
The Arisen decides our path. We have but to follow.
Is there aught I can assist you with?
Chaos in the world begins with chaos of the mind.
Might you be a friend of Lubomir's? He's seen better days, hasn't he? There has been talk of sending him down to the basement, should his condition fail to improve. That is, the basement sick room, where our most critical patients convalesce under the abbess's care. None of the other sisters are permitted entry, including myself. Teles, she gives the patients a special medicine. I know not what kind. At times I hear strange cries and moans drift up from below. Which is to be expected. Those who come here suffer all manner of afflictions, you see. And yet, a part of me is afeard for them.
Sir Lubomir know of this basement sick room, I wonder? Mayhap we ought to ask him about it.
So, the worst of us are taken to the basement. Mayhap that's the source of the queer voices I hear at night. And none save the abbess can enter? If the gracious hand has a secret, 'tis the abbess who keeps it, I reckon. You've done this much for me. Would you be willing to go further? I must find out what goes on down there. Oh, you've my thanks. I just can't stomach the thought of lying here not knowing. Of course, all the better should your search come to naught. But if you do find aught amiss down in that basement, it must be the abbess's doing. Should you find evidence fit to implicate her, will you help me see to it that justice is carried out? See, I've already reported my suspicions to the sentinels, and we've arranged a signal. If you apprehend the abbess, they'll know to come and arrest her. So I beg you, sir, find the evidence you need, if it exists to be found.
To get to the bottom of what is happening at the Gracious Hand, we shall have to acquire evidence of any misdeeds.